Hello everyone, welcome to Learning Forward Saturday. This week we meet yet another passionate educator, a co-founder, Executive Director of Adhyayan. Kavita Anand is catalyzing a committed learning community of educators across India to transform the learning of students. For more than 3 decades, an educator, researcher, funder, school and system leader, and now an edupreneur, she has worked towards ensuring a good school for every child. If I may say, when you meet Kavita, you actually feel what a teacher should be. She pervades happiness, she pervades joy, and she wins you over, which is what passion is all about. Welcome to the show, Kavita. We are delighted to have you with us.
I'm delighted to be here.
But do share with us how your passion takes you way beyond others could have done in this little life of yours.
Sure, Sandeep. I think it's been something that began when I started teaching and realized that the college students I was teaching were focused on their marks rather than on the subject. And that led me to a big, long research piece for 3 years, getting into classrooms, studying what was happening in those classrooms in 3 different schools, and then beginning to realize that actually it's something that we ourselves are doing as a society, the way in which we structure our schools is what is causing the issue. So when I got a chance to set up a school myself, I thought that I would set up an exemplar school, someplace that would showcase everything that people said was good about education and avoid what people said was the problem. So for example, I decided not to have textbooks, and children were allowed to create their own curriculum completely co-created with the teachers. And the teachers very often would ask me, how do we know when to stop? Because children have unbounded curiosity. And I would say, well, when they get tired, you stop. I mean, it's led by the child, right? So we did a lot of those kinds of experiments. And then I realized that everybody loved the school, but people didn't want to necessarily take from the school what could make a difference to their schools. So at that point, I set up Adhyayan as a supporting and scaffolding space for school leaders to be able to say, how do they want to create a space where children can have a voice and, it can become exciting for everyone to learn, including the teachers.
Thank you, Kavita, for providing this scaffolding space for a teacher and for highlighting the fact that learning should be led by the child. Your journey started with building an exemplar school. Where is this exemplar school?
So the school, I set it up and ran it for 15 years for a group of businessmen who had a community school. It's a school called Shishuvan, and it's in Mumbai and Vadala. You probably see it in a lot of the school rankings. It'll show up as a good school. And that was my idea, that all schools need to become good schools. Good not because I say so, not because there is a line in front of the school gate for admissions, but good because the children have a sense of meaning when they come into school and they really want to be in school. They gain something from it on a daily basis, and they feel a sense of fulfillment, confidence, happiness when they are in the school, as well as when they are leaving school. They feel, yes, they know what they want to do with their future and how they want to contribute to the world. So that's my sense of what a good school needs to be. And I think I'd love you to come and have a look at the school if you can, although I have left it a long time ago now. It's been 10 years since I moved out to set up Adhyayan.
Please stay with us. We will be back after a quick commercial break.
It's been wonderful working with Learning Forward, more so because I've had the golden opportunity of being the founder as well as the sponsor and the first chairperson of Learning Forward India. It was indeed an honor and privilege to stitch together the affiliate and bring in hundreds of people from all over the country
as our members. In 3 years, we've come a long way. We have worked with a few dozen schools. What's most beautiful about Learning Forward is they are committed to raising the bar for the teaching and learning profession. And we as an affiliate strongly support that. And Learning Forward is but a natural step for everyone in life. Affiliate has to live by the spirit of Learning Forward. And not just be in design and policy, but in terms of purely connecting with the educators and helping them appreciate what they are doing. Affiliation is more about appreciating the spirit of learning. To understand the global implication of education, you must become an affiliate.
Kavita, when you moved on and learning is moving on, that's the way I look at learning, and you took on Adhyayan. How does Adhyayan connect with the making of a good
the
school?
interesting thing that happened when I was in charge of and running Shishuvan, there was a person from Ofsted who is now my partner and husband, who came in to the school and said, "Oh, this is a great place for me to run my leadership program, and I want to use this as a laboratory," but also asked me a fundamentally important question: how do you know your school is good? And I remember being extremely intrigued when I heard about how Ofsted and how England ran the whole quality improvement of their schools, the kind of framework they had, the performance areas they looked at. And then between him, me, and Roy Blatchford, who's an HMI inspector in England, we actually worked on a school framework, contextualized it to India. And today it's called the Adhyayan Quality Standard. It allows a school to develop a perspective on the entire, from leadership and management, teaching and learning, the child, the curriculum, community and partnerships, infrastructure and resources, the entire gamut of a school, but focused on how does it help a child to learn. So if I have any infrastructure, if I have a playground or a library or a computer lab, how is it impacting on the children and their learning? If I have teachers, how is my training of teachers impacting on the children and their learning? How am I leading and managing the teaching and learning in my school? So all of it is designed around, it's a 360-degree holistic way of looking at a school, but designed around understanding data, specific data on, are the children learning? Are they growing? Are they developing? And that's, I think, fundamental to leadership and governance of a space. I think that's where it starts. If a person sets up a school, they should be interested in, are the children learning? What are they learning?
You gave us two things. Are the children learning and what are they learning? What do you think should be the goal of learning? Or if I may ask you very simply, what do you think should be the optimal impact of learning?
Thanks, Sandeep. It's such an important question for all educators to be asking themselves, right? The whole issue is we tend to think that learning is about a content that has to be mugged up or rote learned very often, simply because it's, there's a big pressure on teachers to finish a certain portion within a given time, and then as long as children regurgitate that onto their exam papers, it's seen as, okay, that's learned. And the truth is, and the tragedy is, that the joke for most people is when you meet in the evening or with your friends, you sort of ask people, okay, how much do you remember of what you learned in school? And everybody will laugh and say, yeah, hardly anything. And that's just the problem. I mean, why are we spending 18 years of a human life doing something that will be forgotten? What sense is that making? So when you look at what is learning, it has to be something that makes sense to a child, where they are led by their inquiry, by their questions, where they're interested, where the people in the classroom who are asking the questions is not the teacher, but the children, where they are actually, working out on whatever they're learning, whether it's social sciences, it's mathematics, it's being done because they are curious about that particular aspect. And if you were to, ask me, any class where a teacher says, okay, what would you like to learn? Children have a perspective. I have never seen a child who does not have curiosity. And the problem with most of the teaching and learning that we see happening in class is that the approach of a teacher is that I will speak, I will ask the questions, and I will give the answers. So what we want to see really is a shift from there to a teacher who waits, who says, okay, here's a question. Now let's see what is it that we can have as an answer. Or who says, what are your questions about this particular aspect? And if we can wait as teachers, if we can wait as leaders in staff rooms, if we can wait as leaders in parent meetings for people to ask questions, then you will find they come with authentic, real inquiry. And that's when a real conversation, real dialogue, real learning starts.
Thank you, Kavita. I waited right through your questions and how beautifully you explained it, and yet optimally used this limited time of ours to explain how we can get the best of learning. We wish you all the best with your passion, and may you keep helping happy teachers build good schools. Best wishes
Thank
from
you,
all
Sandeep.
of us
And
at
if
Learning Forward.
anybody who is leading a school or is in charge of a school, owns a school, is listening in, I hope that you will contact Adhyayan, because we are here for you.